Hi, my name is Greg Olson and I'm the Director of the New York State Office for Aging. Many older New Yorkers are eligible for a variety of federal, state, and local benefits that can put cash in their pockets, help pay for prescriptions, food, and heat, have their taxes reduced, or help pay for care in the community. These are benefits that you have worked for and your tax dollars have supported until a time that you may need them. Unfortunately for many, they are either unaware of these benefits or might be reluctant to apply. Some of the applications for the benefits can be filled out and you can just simply submit them. Others need to be filled out and approved by a local official. Either way, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for you to apply for these benefits by showing you how to fill out certain applications so that you can get them approved easily. So instead of you having to go to somebody to fill them out, we're bringing the experts to you. I would like to thank all of our state partners and local experts for helping us help you understand these applications that sometimes can be difficult to understand or may be complex. Understand how to fill them out and any backup documentation you may need so that you can access these important benefits. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for joining the New York State Office for the Aging and our EmPower New York application tutorial. This tutorial will provide background on the program, details on eligibility, information on how to complete the application, and what to expect once your application is completed. EmPower New York is administered by the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, also known as NYSERDA. The program provides no-cost energy efficiency solutions to income-eligible New Yorkers. You can apply whether you own your home or rent an apartment. If your application is accepted, a contractor will be assigned to you to determine if you would benefit from pre-energy upgrades. Some of those upgrades include things like installation of high-efficiency lighting, attic and wall insulation, and replacement of old or inefficient appliances, just to name a few. Homeowners and renters must meet income requirements to qualify for EmPower. You might be eligible if you live in a home or a building with 100 units or fewer, your household income is below 60% of the state median income, or you participate in a utility payment assistance program, and you are responsible for paying your own utility bills. If you're unsure about income eligibility, we've provided a link right here, and clicking on that link will help to determine if your household is eligible. Let's take a look. Clicking on that link on the previous slide will bring you to this table, which outlines income eligibility criteria for EmPower New York. You'll note in the table household size listed on the left, maximum gross monthly income listed in the middle column, and in the far right column we have maximum gross annual income. And by locating your household size here on the left and determining where your monthly and annual income falls on this table, you'll be able to determine if you're eligible for the EmPower program. Once you've determined your eligibility for the program, you will want to complete the application. And there are a couple of ways to do that. You can either access this top link here, and that will take you to a PDF of the application, which you can download and either complete on the computer and print, or print out and fill out by hand. If you're unable to download the application, or you're uncomfortable printing it out, you can actually request that an application be mailed to you by clicking on this second link. And here we are on the EmPower New York website, where you can see options to download the application, as I noted on the prior slide, or you can see an option to request that an application be mailed to you. Another alternative is to call the 1-877-NY SMART number, and you can inquire about completing an application that way. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to provide a demonstration on how to complete the application file I've downloaded to my computer. But before we get started on that, I do want to draw your attention to the application checklist, because there are a few important pieces you'll want to make sure that you don't forget, and it's important for this application that all fields are completed in their entirety unless marked optional. So first, you'll want to pay attention to the general applicant information, sections A, B, and C. You'll want to make sure those are completed entirely. You'll also want to include documentation on your energy bill. Next, you'll want to be sure you're filling out the appropriate section if you're a homeowner or a renter. Lastly, you'll want to determine how you want to submit your application. If you want to mail it, you'll want to note the address here for mailing it here at the bottom, or you can email it. These are things you'll just want to make sure are in order before you complete and send your application. So here we're getting into our demonstration on how to actually complete the application for the EmPower New York program. And before we get into that, I do just want to note that if you've downloaded the file or you've had the hard copy of the application sent to you, you'll notice the application is actually several pages long. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm breaking it down section by section just to make it easier for you to follow along. So here we have section A, which really just requires you to complete basic information about the applicant. So you'll want to make sure you fill out each field entirely, and you can either type it on your screen in the document, or you can handwrite it if you're using a hard copy. And you'll just want to make sure you list your name, address, city, county, email, primary phone number. If you have a secondary phone number, you'll want to list that. And if there's an additional contact person you want to provide information for, you can do that here too. And so you can see I've pre-populated all of these fields just so you can have an example of what a completed application will look like. Section B of this application will ask you for information on where you live. So you will want to indicate whether or not you own or rent your home, how long you've lived there, and the approximate age of the home. You'll also want to indicate whether or not it's a single family, multifamily, manufactured mobile home, or a group home or shelter. If you're a renter, you might need to reach out to your landlord for information to complete this section. It's also important to note that some upgrades require the permission of the property owner. So for that reason, you'll also want to provide your landlord's contact information here. The remainder of this section will ask for information on who pays for utilities, whether or not there are any leaks in the home, and if you own your appliances. You'll note I've completed this section here just as a reference for you, and this is pre-populated with pretend information just so you can see what a completed application looks like. Section C of this application requests information on members of the household. So you'll want to indicate how many people live in the household, if there's anyone 60 years of age or older, if there are any persons with disabilities, if anyone in the home identifies as Native American, and if there are any children in the home 17 years of age or younger. You'll also note below that there's an optional section on household demographics, and so if there's any information that you think might be helpful for people reviewing this application, you'll want to list that here. Some of that information might include health issues or any special needs that you or any other household occupants might have. For Section D of this application, you will be required to provide information on energy use in your household. So here again, you'll want to list your property address, and you'll also want to provide information on your primary heating fuel. If you have a secondary heating fuel, you want to provide information on that as well. And if you know what your water heater runs on, you'll want to indicate that here too. Here I've completed this section of the application with pretend information just so you can see what a completed Section D of this application will look like. It's important to note that this section of the application authorizes the electricity and fuel suppliers named in your application to release information on your energy usage and on your account. So you want to be sure that you provide accurate and complete information, and you'll also want to be sure that you sign and date this section in order to authorize release of information on your energy use. Section E will request that you provide information on household income. So for each member of the household, you'll want to list the name, gender, age, whether or not the household member is a student, source of income, and the weekly, monthly, and yearly income totals. You'll notice here I've pre-populated these fields just to provide you with an example of what a completed income table will look like. And once you list the weekly, monthly, and yearly incomes here in these cells at the top, you don't need to worry about doing any addition. It auto calculates for you. It's also important to note in this section that you'll need to check here at the bottom if you have received HEAP within the last 12 months. This is important because this figures into your eligibility for the EmPower program. Section F requires you to provide documentation of your income. So here you'll want to review the options for requested documentation and provide copies of that documentation. You have a few choices. You can either select option A, and that enables you to provide a copy of your award letter for HEAP, SNAP, TANF, or SSI dated within the past 12 months. Alternatively, option B allows you to provide pay stubs, Social Security or Social Security disability copies of the award letter, or any other income documentation listed here. So here we are approaching the end of the application, Section G, Applicant Affirmation. This section just requires you to sign and date. But before doing that, you'll want to give the application a thorough review and make sure you've completed all fields accurately and entirely. And once you've confirmed the application is complete, you can go ahead and sign and date. If you have another representative who helped you complete this application, you can have the applicant representative sign and date as well. Once you have received your award letter, a participating accredited contractor will be in touch to schedule an energy assessment of your home. During the initial visit, your EmPower New York contractor will evaluate your electricity use and may even provide some minor improvements at no cost at the initial visit. On the basis of their energy assessment, your EmPower New York contractor may recommend energy efficiency measures to NYSERDA. If the services are approved, the contractor will return to install them at no cost to you. Once all of the work has been completed, your EmPower New York contractor will perform final tests to ensure that the energy efficiency measures are performing exactly as they should. If you are ready to complete your EmPower application or you have additional questions, you can reach out to NYSERDA at 1-877-NY-SMART. Thank you for tuning in to our tutorial and good luck with your EmPower New York application.